No. All right, 7:00, everybody. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call.
Councilmember Compton,
Here.
Emerald Baker,
Here.
Kathy,
He will try and hop on. We'll see. He's traveling, so.
Keller,
Here.
Miller,
Here.
Mayor Fallon.
Here. Any additions or amendments to the agenda?
It seems that an incredible holiday opportunity to recognize the freedom of slaves in the United States is not listed on the agenda. And I understand that it is a full agenda, but the lack of that recognition is incredibly disheartening.
Would you like to add it?
Yes,
Where would you like to add it?
I would imagine it would be an action item. Is that,
To report and presentation?
if I believe that next Wednesday should be, City Hall should be closed, is that an action item?
Yes.
That would be an
Yes.
action item. So make it G? Is that what you're asking to add it
Yeah, I would just.
under action?
5, 6.
I need a resolution.
Well, it's not listed in our handbook, so we would need it. We would probably need a resolution.
Yeah, there'd be steps, yeah.
So it cannot happen this year.
Council can probably recognize it as a holiday, but in terms of, actually, declaring it a holiday for staff would require a prepared resolution with acknowledging the update handbook.
So I blew my chance.
So do you wanna?
It's a step in the right direction.
No, it's definitely, but how about, do you wanna put it on reports and presentation, add it, and so you can talk about it? And recognize?
I'll do that in my comments afterward, that's fine.
Okay.
I was. Yeah, I blew my chance, yeah, we're good.
Okay. All right. Any other additions or amendments they did, or puzzle? Okay. Adoption of the consent agenda. Is there a motion? To approve.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda and ratification of bills in the amount of $244,068.29.
And the minutes.
And yeah, and the approval of minutes for May 13th to 2024 council meeting and the minutes for May 20th, 2024 council work session.
And LLC.
And the.
Approval of special event OLCC application for Thunder Island Brewing. I second.
Okay, any discussion?
I just wanted to point out, and this body can decide whatever they want, that on the May 20th minutes, I'm referred to as Councilmember Evie. I don't mind, but do we need consistency for the correct usually gets that, I'm sorry. Okay, that's okay. So we'll change Evie to what you usually call me. Emily Baker.
All right, so you're asking that to be true, so. A motion seconded, and then with the addition for the spelling, any others? Okay. So vote.
Councilmember Compton,
Aye.
Emerald Baker. Aye. Kathy, Keller,
Aye.
Miller,
No.
Mayor Fallon.
Aye. Passes. All right, go on to appearance of interested citizens to try and ensure a variety of perspective issues. Is there forms
And received any.
Yeah, it's right there.
You have to,
How's that?
you have time to go down, get it to them.
Okay. All right, Ms. Tiffany Pruitt, Mrs.
I just would like to ask the council to, get some consistency on the applications they approve. You didn't have 3 applications presented for the tourism committee, I mean, not the tourism committee, but the charter review committee. And the last council meeting, the 1st of May, you approved 1 application for the downtown revitalization committee that from a person who, you know, has the worst looking property in the whole of downtown. And that qualified them for that committee. Then you also approved, you had a last minute ad to approve a application for the same committee that had absolutely no information on it. So you have people who, I understand you only had 1 meeting last month, but there were no question, there was only 1 question they answered on that application. Or 2, if you remember exactly, but there was not hardly any information put on that application, and you approved that person, and yet you overlooked 3 that filled out their information. And I guess I would like to see the council be a little bit more consistent in their application process. Thank you.
All right. Casey?
Oh, already?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. What's the correct pronunciation of your last name?
McHugh.
Okay, and it was a client.
Yeah. And I just read in the, well, actually, in the Line News last night that you guys were gonna discuss, revamping the town or what the town needs. And as a vendor here, you know, Cascade Locks is, I never thought I'd say this, the place to sell stuff. I mean, I grew up in Hood River and Cascade Locks was down there where it rains, you know, but, and I live in Lyle, I don't live here, but I sell cherries down at Dawn.
That's why you were familiar.
Yeah. And, I just have to say, I sold cherries in Lyle, Highway 14, and I did very well. But nothing like Cascade Locks. Cascade Locks, people are looking, they want to find fish, they want to find cherries, you know, and they get upset if they're not there, actually. You know, I've had tons of people come and say, where's the fish? I'm like, well, I don't think they're fishing today, you know? But, this is the mecca for vendors, and if you guys ever wanna do something for your community, I think you should have like a vendor kind of place, you know, maybe the school grounds, if they were paved. It would be a perfect place, you know, for an empty spot. And then you could have charge a minimal fee or something, but I think you'd do a real service to the tourists around here and to your community, and maybe even add a little income for you guys. So that's my suggestion.
Okay.
Thank you, and come get cherries.
Thank you. Okay. And let's see. Public hearings.
You want to check on mine if there's any public comment?
Is there any public comment?
Can you announce what the public hearing is for, please?
Sure. And public hearing, 7:05, open public hearing on possible uses of state revenue sharing. The state requires that the city council hold a public hearing on proposed uses of state revenue sharing funds. So does the public have anybody online have any questions or comments on that?
So that was for public interested citizens, so I brought it up.
Okay,
But for the public hearing, there's a process to follow.
well, let's follow it. Go for it.
So first, there is a staff report. Council will then receive any written testimony. Council will then allow public testimony, with a time limit of 5 minutes per person. and then council will then close the hearing. It's similar to the one we did for the wastewater project a few months ago. So the staff reports, in order to receive and expend state revenue sharing funds, the city must hold a public hearing to obtain citizens' input on how it should be spent. The state requires it's done at the budget committee level and the council level. The 2024-2025 proposed shared revenue budget. The total estimated state revenue sharing is $12,000, with $5,000 of it going towards the dedicated patrol for the Hood River Sheriff's Office. $3,000 of it going towards the subsidizing low-income seniors on their sewer bill, as well as low-income general population on their electricity bill, and then $1,000 to pay for the reverse 911 to contact residents in an emergency. And we did not receive, that I am aware of, any written testing.
Let's see. Any either. And I don't see anybody raising their hand on it.
So if there's no public comment, we can close the hearing.
Okay, we'll close the hearing. Okay, it's my action items. Approved process to fill council vacancy.
Tamara Farrell has stepped down from council. Her position's term is set to expire on December 31st, 2024, and is up for election on November 5th, 2024. Below is from the charter on how to fill vacancies, section 30, filling vacancies. Council vacancies shall be filled by a majority of the remaining member of the council. The appointee's term of the office shall begin immediately and shall continue until the next general election, and the term of that position shall be unexpired portion of the remaining term. Council has typically put out a call for applications, review the applications and reviews the applications and applicant and appoint. But there is no set way and how that is done. That has been, at least my knowledge in the recent past, how it's been filled. The council can decide how I live. Or leave it open until the vote, until the election this fall.
So council can leave the position open. Or appoint or advertise that there's an opening, and kind of similar to the way we did it last time, and then people come in and apply, and then they present to council.
I want to make a motion to, fill the council position by putting out now a notice and looking for applicants to approve in the interim before
The remainder of the year.
the remainder of the year.
I second.
Any discussion?
I think we have enough months that it would be important to have another voice and voting member here. My question is, how long do we put the call for applicants out for, Jordan? What is?
Yeah, I think it's been either 2 to 4 weeks, but it's up to council.
I would say we review applications next meeting, and I would ask for a letter of interest. Letter of what? Interest?
Outside of the typical application we do, okay?
Okay. How does council feel about that? So consensus to next, put out an advertising. Ask next meeting. They can come in with a letter and their application and the interview.
We would need the letter application submitted before the council meeting.
I was just gonna ask, what's the
Yes.
deadline?
5 p.m. Monday?
No,
Yeah.
okay, because we need to check and make sure that they have lived here. They've been a voting resident of Cascade Locks for at least a year, so we need our staff to give them some time to do some checking.
How would noon on Monday work? Would there be enough time?
I would say Thursday. It really depends on how fast the county gets back to us on when we are a registered voter.
And they're shorthanded.
So
Passed
that,
out today.
can that take days?
I mean, most likely, I might know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
if they've been here, I'm gonna know. If there's someone new, then I don't know how long it would take, but I could probably get an answer within a day.
So by, do we wanna say
Do
by,
you wanna be Thursday, or what's your Thursday at noon, or Wednesday by end of business day, or what would be?
Well, let's say Wednesday, end of day by 6, so that I've
Okay.
got Thursday
The
to
whole day.
try to get the answer.
And then I will get applicants out to council Thursday night.
Okay.
You can review them over the weekend.
So we're talking, today is the 10th, you're talking the 20th as the cutoff. And
Correct. That's what, yeah.
boy, that's a pretty short time.
Councilmember Keller?
Since Tamara has given us a little bit of leeway, I have been going and talking to candidates that I feel have been valuable. This isn't something that's new. It's, we've known about this. We've had a chance to talk to various people to say, I want you to apply. It shouldn't take 10 days to write a letter.
can we get it out in the social media this week? On the,
First thing tomorrow morning.
and up in the post office, et cetera.
First thing tomorrow morning.
I do think it's important to fill it and fill it soon, so to not use Jeremiah's words, kick the can down the road, so I think 10 days should be enough to start tomorrow.
So we need to make a friendly amendment to the motion with more clarification, or do we vote twice? That we,
Well, I can amend the motion to put a date for the,
You make an amend.
I guess I will amend my motion.
I'm gonna clarify, we're doing application and letter of interest or just the letter of interest?
Application and letter of interest, right?
Thank
How
you.
does,
Sorry.
how does council feel about that whole? We're good?
and when a person applies for city council, is there a specific application or is it the committee?
It's the same as the committee application.
Okay. So I like both, letter of interest and application.
Why do you say no, Mr. Miller?
Too quick. Just way too fast. And this council's made it a habit of doing things way too fast and making mistakes.
Have you been talking to people and suggesting?
Me,
Yeah. Are you going to?
probably. But, you know, because of the time on it. And
I thought we knew back in May 4th, May 5th.
I do think it gives 10 days. We're a small community, either people are gonna be interested or they're not. I don't think we're gonna miss out on applicants if we wait another 2 weeks on top of that. And I do think it's important to have a full council.
When's the next, would be the next date if it was to be pushed out there to the next council meeting?
It'd be July,
July 8th.
which means we'd have to have applications in. Because July 4th is a Thursday. Probably to be safe, July 1.
Would that be a better date?
Well, I guess with that time frame, we could probably. Not have to have it so close to council.
Uh-huh.
Would July 1 be enough time, do you think, Butch?
July, yeah,
July 1?
I go for that. Give a little extra time.
How does council feel about moving the date to July 1?
Selfishly, I'm out of town that council meeting. And that's just,
You're out of town on,
I'm leaving July 2nd, coming back in
Okay.
Aye.
Everybody, this is Pete. I'm back on the call. I got on, but it was after roll call.
Thank you, Pete.
Yeah, but I just want to kind of echo Eric's sentiments. Anybody that I think that would be a good candidate for filling Tammy's vacancy. I think the ideal candidate is somebody that's already plugged into what's happening on council. They know that Tammy's left, and they know that we're probably going to be collecting applications, and they should be anticipating that. I think the ideal candidate is going to be very prepared. I think 10 days is more than adequate time for them to prepare a letter of interest and fill out an application. I see no reason to delay it further.
I agree. I would still stay with this
All right.
10.
Councilman Keller, how do you feel about 10 days?
Oh, I thought, yeah, I'm all for it.
Okay. All right. Councilman Miller, do you have any? Councilmember Compton, can you restate what your,
I guess
The motion.
the motion would be to seek application for and a letter of intent for filling the city council position led by Tammy, deadline due June 10th. 20th, sorry, June 20th, end of day.
Okay.
For review next council meeting in person on, that's June 24th.
okay. For a second,
I thought we were doing Wednesday, the 19th.
I do too.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
end of day Wednesday 19th.
Sorry, we were on the wrong dates.
I second.
by end of business day. Okay, second, any discussion?
I just want to clarify, in that motion, it was stated that they had to appear in person. Can we amend that to include people to attend virtually if they're unable to attend in person?
Yes,
Sounds reasonable.
in person or virtually at the city council session. Should I just say it again?
Go for it, with all the right
Okay.
dates.
I would like to make a motion to begin filling the city council position left vacant by council member Tammy Farrell. Seeking applications and letter of intent due by end of business Wednesday, the 19th of June. For and to appear either in person or virtually for the next council date of June 24th.
Okay, second,
I second.
discussion. All right, vote.
Councilmember Thompson,
Aye.
Emmeline Baker,
Aye.
Happy,
Aye.
Keller, Miller,
No.
Mayor Fallon.
Aye. That passes. Okay, next one. Resolution number 1504, affirming public hearing on state shared revenue.
All right, the second half of the state share revenue public hearings. Pursuant to section 1 of ORS 221.770, the Cascade Lock City Council must pass a resolution stating that the city held public hearings at both the budget committee and council level. The public hearing for the budget committee was held on May 8th, 2024, during the committee's first meeting to review the 2024-2025 budget. The public hearing for the council was held on June 10th, 2024, during the regular scheduled meeting. By holding these public hearings, passing a resolution, and completing the attached form from Oregon Department of Administrative Services, the city will complete all of the state's requirements. Really, only option for council here is if they want the money is to pass the resolution.
Is there a motion to pass? Resolution 1504.
I motion to approve resolution 1504, affirming that the public hearings on usage of state shared revenue occurred for the 2024-2025 City of Cascade Lots budget.
Is there a second?
I second.
Discussion? Okay, hearing none, roll call?
Councilmember Compton,
Aye.
Emmeline Baker,
Aye.
Kathy,
Aye.
Keller,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Mayor Bell.
Aye. Resolution 1504 passes. Okay, now we have resolution number 1505, adopt 2024-25 fiscal year budget.
Right, at the May 8th, 2024 Budget Committee meeting, Budget Officer, City Administrator Bennett presented and proposed the 2024-2025 budget. At the May 15th, May 22nd, and May 29th, 2024 Budget Committee meetings, the Budget Committee reviewed, amended, and approved the 2024-2025 budget. The Budget Committee also approved using the full property tax of $2.70 per $1,000 of assessed value. The approved budget is now presented to council to review and adopt via resolution 1505. City council options are to adopt the 2024-2025 budget, amend and adopt the 2024-2025 budget, reject the 2024-2025 budget.
We do have a citizen that would like to speak on resolution 1505. Need for it?
As you all know, this is a very hard thought out budget process. And we've had lots of changes. We went through 30 pages of budget, five different sets, this being the fifth one. And I think a couple of things got lost in the translation from the fourth to the fifth, and I just want to point them out. I only talked to Jordan before this, but when we transferred in the general fund, the transfer from other funds, we had a $4,000 amount on the second page of the general fund line items, and that somehow fell off of the budget, and it should still be on there so we can see where that was from. And then on the let's see, budget pages, there shouldn't be budget pages, numbers at least, 1, 2, 3, 4 page of the general fund, which would be the fifth page back. At the bottom at interfund transfer expenses. I think a rounding error was made because it says 390,000 for transfer to other funds, $390,093, which is a plus 91. And then when you get down to the total of that total interfund transfer expenses, it's $541,469, which is a plus 92, so there's a dollar difference there. I mean, I don't know. I think it's just a roundup thing. I think one rounded up and one rounded down, so you got a round up problem, but it doesn't make it so because 3 + 5 does not equal 9. Just saying, so. I don't know how you correct that at this particular time, but just wanted to point this out. And thank you for everybody's hard work on the budget. It was very difficult this year. It was very, very hard. We had to do a lot of difficult moving around, which has never happened before. So it was really quite a challenge, and it was a lot of work and a lot of meetings. And I just appreciate everybody's hard work on it.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So is there a motion to approve resolution 1505?
I motion to approve resolution 1505, adopting the 2024-2025 City of Cascade Lots budget in the amount of $16,568,733.
Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, discussion? All right, go to a roll call vote.
Councilmember Compton,
Aye.
Evelyn Baker. Aye. Kathy,
Aye.
Keller,
Aye.
Miller,
No,
Mayor Fallon.
Aye. Resolution 1505 passes. Now we approve renegotiated city administrator contract.
At the May 13th, 2024, council, on May 13th, 2024, council held an executive session to do a performance review of the city administrator. On May 20th, 2024, council held a work session to discuss and negotiate new terms for the city administrator contract. At the end of the work session, council came to consensus of the new terms. The terms were drafted into a contract and were reviewed by City Attorney Cleveland. The new contract is presented to council for approval. If approved, the new contract will go into effect July 1st, 2024. City council options are to approve contract as written, amend and approve contract, reject the contract.
And we do have some citizens that would like to speak. Tiffany Pruitt.
I don't know. Guess I need exercise. Tiffany Pruitt, citizen of Cascade Locks. I appreciate the negotiation process that happened for this contract. I would, like to make some observances, and I want to say I can appreciate the complexities of, this being the city administrator's first job with sewer, water, and electric departments and many different governmental agencies that affect this area. And after he gets this city under his belt, I'm sure that no other city will be quite as complicated, but maybe, depends. But I have to say that I feel that 6 months severance pay and medical benefits is really for a more seasoned city administrator. I feel that this, having been part of watching these meetings for a while now, some of the areas that, the city administrator has problems is in setting an agenda, putting discussion in reports and presentations, and, vice versa. Knowing what to do with 2 ordinance readings, and that a resolution that depends on an ordinance to be voted in can't be voted on until the second reading has been had. Our budget has been, I give them the benefit of the doubt for the first year because there was a lot of chaos, but this year was, like I said, five different budgets at 30 pages each. That's 150 pages of comparing numbers, and also doesn't really seem to know our town, because when asked about things happening in town, doesn't know what or where is being talked about. Didn't start using POs, purchase order numbers, until it was pressed by the council because of citizens' pushback. Suggested putting $1,500 on a Visa card to be used later for an event, which has been absolutely unheard of. You don't put money on a credit card. There's no accounting for that. That is just an idea that has never been presented before. Has publicly badmouthed a previous potential client and has really overspent on the accounting firm that we have, which really that money could have been used for hiring an employee that could be helpful with the budget, which is very complex for us. And for those reasons, I just feel like it would be better for the severance of pay and medical benefits to be for 4 months, and let him learn his job a little bit better over the next year and the complexities of it. And then maybe next year, give him the 6 months. Thank you.
We have another Kathy Olsey.
Okay, I would like to start by saying I watched the workshop online. There were some comments made, all that kind of stuff, which some were okay, some were troubling to me as an employee and as a citizen. I'm not just an employee, but I'm also a citizen of this city, and I have been for a really long time. I have had the pleasure of working for 9 city administrators and many mayor and council people. It has been a wonderful, wonderful opportunity for me to meet and work with all these different people. And I want to be the one employee to say, and I know a lot of us feel the same way, when Jordan may not have been a city administrator before, he walked into a staffing nightmare and a financial nightmare. He has impressed the heck out of me. I don't say that lightly. If I'm saying it, I mean it. He is a very, very hardworking city administrator. We are very fortunate to have him. He has learned a lot. He is continuing to learn. He has no problem asking questions and doing the work. He does the work. And I don't think it's fair to not pay him what he's worth or give him the benefits that he's worth because he's never been a city administrator. I'm sure he knows by working here, wherever he goes next. I mean, he is learning a lot here. He deserves to be appreciated for the work he does. And as far as the budget goes, I did hear one of the counselors, I'm not gonna say this word for word, but when you fix the budget, well, he brings you information and research that he provides you with all of that. The budget committee and the council being final decision on the budget. So it's the council that fixes the budget, not the city administrator. Just wanted to say that. Anyway, I just would hope that, I'm sure that city council knows, but please hear what I say. He's a very hardworking individual that we don't want to see him go because he can make a lot more money somewhere else. Thank you.
Thank you. So is there a motion to approve the renegotiated city administrator contract?
I motion to approve the presented renegotiated contract with the city administrator Bennett.
Is there a second? There's not a second, then there's nothing to vote on. I'll go back to the drawing board. What happens?
And so we can make a different motion.
I motion to approve a amended, contract, changing the salary to 100,000 instead of the negotiated amount.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Discussion. Councilmember Baker?
Well, I agree that, that city administrator Bennett has done huge things for this city. And we've heard a lot of things that he said, look what I found out that came from the past, and I appreciate that. And I know in our budget discussions, and I know in our city, in our review of the city administrator, that we, trying to get the money that all of our staff need. We don't have it, and we know that. And so, I'm glad that we negotiated some language in lieu of, giving you a salary. Even now, it's at the very low end of the range for city managers in Oregon as of April 2024, almost just above the lowest. And so, to me, negotiating teacher contracts, Oklahoma school districts, language was important if there was really not the money that people deserve. So I appreciate the language and the retention. And still, I am happy that we did pass a budget that included 100,000 for the city administrators, so that this can work. The increase can work on salary because it's in our budget.
Councilmember Miller?
Yeah, we just came out of a work session where we were fighting just applying money for an EMS for our fire department. And our budget is tight. So, I mean, he's getting a raise. $96,000, I think is adequate, especially when you put in the severance package, and we're trying to show him how much we appreciate his work. That until we can get more money, I think we have to stay with the $96,000. That's it.
I know for me, it's not I mean, I think everyone agrees that Jordan's learned a lot, everything, it's just simply, we are in a tight budget. I think, Chief Logan deserves a lot more, I think a lot of employees, but some years in cities, I've talked to a lot of managers, sometimes their staff, they don't receive any cost of living raise. If their budget is that bad, or critical, I should say. So it's to go across the board, 3.5%, that's what we came up with, we did. So it's not a matter of, there isn't the money there for it. And to Councilman Miller's thing, we're looking for every single cent. I mean, we just cut out $10,000 out of the community budget. No money for community projects. And so, there's a lot of employees that deserve quite a bit more, or should, but if it's not in the budget, it's not in the budget. And I know we talked about next year, so it'd be, give us this year to figure it out. I would love to pay all of our employees exactly what they're worth. So I would be supportive of the way it's currently.
I hope I end the nailing an extra nail in the coffin here, but it's in the budget, it's ready to go, we can do it. Second of all, I only emailed with one member of the budget committee that was a citizen. And this was the number that they had proposed as part of an option to help try and find funds for the sheriff. And so if that citizen proposed that number at 100,000 to me in an email, I feel that we should honor what the budget says and let's move forward. I think unless Mr. Happy or Mr. Compton has something to say, I say let's vote on it. We all know each other's opinion. We discussed it for an hour. So.
Councilmember Happy, do you have a comment?
I'm sorry, guys. I dropped out right as and I just got back in during Mr. Keller's comment. So can somebody catch me up? Give me a quick recap. It sounds like I thought we'd negotiated in terms of the contract already. It sounds like perhaps there's people that were voting on that tonight that decided that they want to change those terms. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yes.
We changed, there was a failed motion to pass the current. The way that the contract currently sits. So a amended number of 100,000 for the salary, everything else in the budget in the contract stayed the same, was motioned and seconded. Now we're in discussion of that.
And what was the number before? What was the difference?
96,000.
96,000 is what we discussed previously. And then how did we get to 100,000? Because that was just what we have in the budget.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, that was my suggestion actually from was 100,000, which was the, included the COLA, for the last 2 years. So I'm supportive of that.
Councilmember Baker, did you have a? Okay, any other discussion? All right, goes to vote.
Councilmember Compton,
Aye.
Emerald Baker,
Aye.
Kathy,
Aye.
Keller,
Aye.
Miller,
No.
Mayor Fallon.
No. But it passes with amendment. Okay, resolution number 1502, recreational immunity.
All right, the League of Oregon Cities asked city councils across Oregon to pass resolutions urging the Oregon legislature to restore recreational immunity in 2017. The Public Use of Lands Act was passed in 1995 to encourage public and private landowners to expand recreation access by limiting their liability to those recreating. However, Oregon Supreme Court has ruled that the immunity enjoyed by landowners does not exceed to employees, agents, or volunteers, and this exposes cities and other landowners to the tort claims brought against their employees. Cities are encouraged to adopt a resolution limiting certain claims arising from recreation use of the city's trails and or structures in public easements and unimproved right-of-ways. City's council's options are to approve, modify, or reject resolution 1502.
Is there a motion to accept resolution number 1502?
I move to, approve resolution number 1502.
Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, discussion? Hearing none, go to a vote.
Councilmember Compton,
Aye.
Emerald Baker,
Aye.
Kathy,
Aye.
Keller,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Mayor Fallon.
Aye. Resolution 1502 passes. On to the next one, resolution number 1503, wildfire mitigation plan.
City Council approved a guide for wildfire mitigation in 2022 and adopted resolution number 1472. There have been no changes recommended for the plan. So a background, you all might remember this, after the fires of 2020, the state mandated that all electrical utilities had a wildfire mitigation plan. It was kind of a quick push out. We used BKI to write it and it was approved by council in 2022. I'm attempting to be proactive to present this to council once a year before the fire season. So it has been reviewed. It'll also go to BKI each year. So we don't go 10 years in the future and the state will go, where's your updated plan? And we don't have it. So it'll be in the tickler, actually probably earlier in the year, March or April, for council to review this every year. But it's the same plan as written in 2022.
Is there a motion to approve resolution number 1503?
I move to approve resolution number 1503, adopting the 2024 wildfire mitigation plan.
I second.
Discussion? Hearing none, go to a roll call vote.
Councilmember Compton,
Aye.
Emerald Baker,
Aye.
Kathy,
Aye.
Keller,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Mayor Fallon.
Aye. Resolution 1503 passes. Reports and presentation, committee reports, tourism.
Good evening.
Welcome.
Thank you. So I'm here to give you the quarterly report from the Cascade Historical Museum as your vendor for tourism administrative support. I wanted to catch you up on what we've been up to since I last saw you on February 10th. And I wrote this on June 3rd in preparation for the tourism committee meeting because they're supposed to see it first. The document in your packet is through June 3rd. What we've been up to, we have done strategy meetings. They've got a 1-year marketing.
business document, but was not actually attached. I do apologize for that. I'll make sure you get that. And it's a transitional plan while they do applications to do real strategic planning and marketing strategy. So it's got a calendar built into it with activities that we'll undertake that include doing like different industry meetings where we get to talk to the lodging operators and we get to talk to the restaurateurs and we see how we can really be supporting our people who are supporting our tourists. We've also hired, onboarded and trained the visitor services administrator. I think most of you have met Amber at this point. She's doing great down at the front desk. Budget and finance, you also all saw the budget that went through, and we made a lot of changes to how tourism does their budget this week. One of the things that I had seen in the budget that concerned me was the spending of TLT on the general audit. And I had voiced those concerns to Jordan, who said he would pass them along to all of you, and I hope that you got to take those into consideration. Because that does open the city up to some risk. We also did a lot of work within the regional and statewide tourism network. I got to sit on the RDMO, the regional strategic investment board. We did a grant review panel and we had about $72,000 in regional projects this year. And almost 40% of that went to 2 projects in Cascade Blocks. So the Port of Cascade Blocks PCT Trailhead bathroom got a significant grant from that. As well as a new beginner guide for learning to use e-bikes in the gorge. I got to attend the Governor's Conference for Tourism and talk to a lot of travel Oregon staff and the regional network there. And it was also really great because that one, a lot of committee members attended and we got to connect them with people working on similar projects or ideas that they had. So that they could see real examples of what might have previously felt a little bit more nebulous. And so that was great just to get tourism people in front of other tourism people. It's always fun. I also got to attend Destination Boot Camp, which was a workshop that was for tourism professionals. And so it was really awesome. We spent 2 days workshopping a new development model for making new experiences. The Travel Oregon's put together a kit where you can just say, okay, I follow these 10 steps and then I've got this cool new thing to offer for tourism. And so we were workshopping that with them to make sure that it was really a good model to launch. And then we also got to explore new partnerships and funding opportunities. So I got to talk to people about doing regenerative tourism and working with the tribes and doing workforce solutions and see what kind of things are happening in other communities. And those were conversations that I chose based on what my directives have been from the committee so far. And based on my understanding of what's going on in Cascade Blocks. We also got to share a lot of different grant opportunities with tourism supporting tie-ins. I know I've gotten to forward a couple of those to you. There's a good one from DEQ that might be a good fit for the city. And that was shared with us by somebody at the Oregon Coast Visitors Association. So these being in front of other tourism people, hearing about their projects and seeing where those funding sources are that are beyond, you know, just getting tax money from the hotels. Those are opportunities that we can pursue that way. And I also got to network with fellow tourism experts and it was really great to get a lot of, they had a session where you got one-on-one time with like the real experts of things. So I got to sit down with the director of the Portland Airport Visitor Center and run through our plan to upgrade our visitor center with her and see what we might have needed to consider. I got to sit down with the director of development and talk about which projects and Cascade Blocks that they would recommend we go after for making some new products and some new changes. And it's just really cool to get like FaceTime in with people that are pretty high up in the organization. And we got to just, you know, exchange ideas for new products, new project requirements. And there's like implications for, it goes beyond just the tourism committee, like,
For example, Lincoln City's Planning Committee has a requirement that if you're going to do a development project that costs more than $50,000, it has to include public art. So there's things that you can do that improve your city's tourism experience that are not necessarily just locked within the tourism committee. And being able to get those ideas and bring them forward and talk to you is great. Yeah.
Can I interrupt you? Whatever phone that is, can you put it on silent? It's like the 4th time it's dinged during this meeting.
Not me. So, everyone just check your phones. Last turn. Okay.
Might be on the desk.
Right.
Okay, where was it? Cool. Oh, and then at the end of the session, they asked for people who had expertise in different areas to potentially volunteer to talk to other people and do those one-on-one sessions. And I actually got called out because of my experience with 501c3s as a person that people can go talk to. And it was interesting to be considered an expert at something that I feel a little new at, but
Pretty good at it.
I'm not pretty good at it, but I was like, oh yeah, I mean, I'm new to travel Oregon, it's like, I'm in the network, but I'm not, like, I'm new to being DMO, but it was really great to get to talk to people about, the overlap between the different types of organizations that do tourism and different ideas that can come from that. And then later, we got to have our DMO and Travel Oregon, we got to help support National Travel and Tourism Week. So the week before Memorial Day, we had one of the leaders from Travel Oregon come out, and we got to go around to our visitor facing businesses and pass out cookies and say thank you for, taking care of our visitors. And it's really important to get that face time in with the people who are actually doing it, because I mean, the cashiers do so much tourism, but they're not the people that are getting to sit around and think about it in the back rooms, and it's good to get that face time in and to make sure that they feel appreciated. The RDMO, the Regional Destination Marketing Organization, is going through their RFP process right now. So Travel Oregon every 6 to 8 years goes to RFP for people to come in and be the leader for the region. And that has been happening in the last month. So there's been a lot of support between the region that's been happening. We've also implemented all of those ideas about big data that were coming. So we've got that cell phone data now, and we can get it out to businesses about where people are coming from and where we should be placing our advertisements so that we know that they're reaching people.
I like that.
It's super creepy, but
Strategic.
it is, yeah, it's so creepy,
Yeah.
but making it available to like the little one person businesses is amazing. Like being able to facilitate that is like, our businesses are not going out getting their own subscriptions to things like Blizzard, and having that access is really cool. Yeah, so being a part of the network's been really great, and then also getting into the leadership training and event management with Solve. So as many of you got to participate in, we did launch our Earth Day product. So we had the first Cascade Box Earth Day. Solve is a statewide organization that brought in people from out of town to do the garbage cleanup. So we had people coming from more than 50 miles away to pick up trash here, because they also care about keeping Cascade Box beautiful. And having that organization's network made it that we could reach them. Because if I post on Facebook, like, hey, let's pick up some garbage, I'm not gonna get people to come from out of town and do that. And that's putting a burden on the local population that we can also outsource. Like, there's never enough people picking up garbage, right?
Until they sign releases too for the Solve.
Yeah, Solve is a great partner because it also covers the insurance for that.
Right.
So that's huge when it comes to doing trash cleanups. We also got to support some additional community events with the gorgeous Easter egg hunt, and Festival of Nations is coming back this weekend after a 12-year hiatus. So Saturday, June 15th, there will be a huge festival down in the Marine Park. And it is being led by a committee of tribal members. it's going to be a big Native American festival. There will be vendors, there will be food, there will be a mini powwow, there will be kids' activities. It goes from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. this Saturday. And they're doing a grand entrance for the mini powwow with everyone dancing in the regalia, at 5 p.m. So make sure if you're in town Saturday, you should definitely check that out.
So what are the hours of that?
11 a.m. to 8 p.m. And that's, that was a huge project to bring back together the Columbia Gorge Tourism Alliance and Travel Oregon worked a lot to do that, but the planning committee did so much and they did a great job. And I'd like to thank Sarah Patrick from the tourism committee. She has been on that planning committee and she's been reporting back to us how much work that they've had to do to get that together, and it's really exciting to have it back. We've been coordinating the committee communications and doing all of the documents and all of the, the paperwork stuff that we have to do for providing admin services. Keeping up with all of the current applications with cooperative advertising and chamber of commerce and flash reports and public communications and inquiry responses. We get emails from all over the world where people want us to mail them brochures. That's all part of it. And also coming up with new opportunities to support our local businesses. We've got the email list up to date, and we have people's contact references, which is huge because not everybody emails. We've also gotten to implement and share a lot of the free opportunities that are out there for helping our businesses be more efficient. We've got a couple of projects that overlap between our tourism capacity and our museum capacity as well. So we got grants from Visit Hood River and from the tourism committee to renovate our front office, and that is happening in the next 2 weeks. So if you come in, please pardon our dust. The museum is open, but the gift shop is closed. So
How long is that gonna be?
we're fixing the walls right now, so that's really the thing that we don't need people in that room for. And then once we've got it painted and patched, then people can come back in and we can do the fun part of putting the gift shop back together and putting the new exhibits in. Does anyone have any questions? Comments?
Thank you for all of your work. It's exciting to see that and hear what you're doing, and I know the partnerships you're making. I know some of the tourism members are on the new Main Street Committee, and there's sharing of ideas, and I just, thank you.
Yeah, there's a lot of overlap between the support that we can do.
Thank you. You've been busy.
Yeah.
That's so little. No, this is amazing.
Yeah. Well, in the spring is really when we get to do the planning and stuff, and then in the summer is when we have to just, welcome the hordes. And so the one you get in September may have a little bit less like paperwork and interesting things that go with it, but it'll be reports back of like numbers. How many people came?
You do a really good job with stats,
Thank you.
like where they come from and.
They come from all over. Yeah, here.
When does that get installed?
That is still under negotiation. That, claim says that costs $3,000 a month. And that is not in the committee's budget this year.
Oh, so we get to pay that.
What they're asking is for the committee to support putting it at the Best Western, or the Best Western pays for a portion of it, and the committee would pay for a portion of it, and how that works out, they haven't pitched at the committee meeting yet, so I only have a couple of emails that show what that is. It's an option that's out in front of us to think about, but I am a fan of weather cameras, so like I get it, but it's also very expensive.
Yeah, I didn't realize, I thought they were
Yeah.
pay us.
That's expensive. All right, any other comments or questions? Alrighty, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for staying. Anyway. Internal payment discussion.
The water, sewer, and electric fund each pay a PILT, payment in lieu of taxes, to the general fund. Similar to franchise fees for private companies, the utilities must pay for the right to access and provide services and create revenue off of the city right of ways and residents. The current rate is 5% of sales revenue. During the 2024-2025 budget committee discussion, there is consensus to review increasing the percentage as a way to increase revenue for the general fund. Presented with this report are estimates increasing from 5% to 7% at 0.25% intervals. Each of the affected funds will need to determine how they will cover the additional payments. If council comes to a consensus, a resolution will be drafted for adoption at the June 24th council. You will see based off the numbers that any substantial increase will come from the electric department, as they do $2.7 million worth of sales. Sewer does 440,000 and water does 250,000. Most likely an event to cover these costs for both sewer and electric, mainly sewer, would be a rate increase, which needs to be done anyways, as it is behind the operating costs for the treatment plant and the collection system.
These are percentages off of revenue,
Yes,
so increasing the rates would also increase the revenue, which would
Correct.
make the number go up.
correct.
Just want to make sure that that was.
Yep.
Right, Lauren, how about
This is Pete. I got a quick question. It was hard to hear you, Jordan. Did you say 5% to 7%? And then what was the time frame for that increase?
So if council comes to a consensus tonight, it will be on a resolution on June 24th. It will go into effect on the next budget, or the meeting, sorry, will go into effect the next month. So it'll be in July.
And so we're talking about raising it from 5% to 7% now, not over a period of time. It's 5% to 7% now.
No, I presented intervals at 0.25%. So whatever council wants to do, I mean, it can really be whatever percentage council wants. But that's what I presented is 5 to 7, going at 0.25% to show the numbers. But council can go whatever percentage they would like.
Can I,
And I think how much of a budget shortfall were we trying to make up by increasing the internal payments? I think it was around 24,000.
I believe so, somewhere in there. I don't remember the exact number.
And I think if we did, and I just rough numbers. I remember when we were doing budget review. I think when I was looking at 5% to 6% would be a $32,000 increase. So for every percentage point, I think it was around 32K. Is that right?
The numbers I have moving it to 6% would put the additional revenue for the general fund to $34,450.
Thank you.
Councilmember Keller, you have questions?
can I just get a glossary definition of payment in lieu of taxes and the difference between that and internal payments?
Well, so they're labeled as internal payments in our budget, but kind of the more general city administration side, it's a payment in lieu of taxes, or like, so like a franchise fee. But for our internal accounting, it's called an internal payment. Why that decision was made, I don't know.
Okay, so then, I know this was already discussed, and I appreciate your explaining it again to me. So, an outside electricity company, we had a contract, they would pay us a franchise fee to provide service.
Correct, so like for PGE has to provide a franchise fee for using Gresham's, Portland's, Troutdale's right of ways to put in the poles and provide power to the residents. It's same with garbage. They give us the $1,000 a year plus the free dumpster case. That's their franchise fee. They're using our streets and our residents to make money.
More questions?
No, that's what, yeah, thanks.
And so if we were to raise it from, Pete again, 5% to 6%, anything over the budget, deficit we're trying to make up for, if we took money out of contract services, that money would go back And anything above and beyond that money that needs to go back for contract services would go into contingency. Is that correct?
Yes,
I propose that we raise it from 5% to 6% across the board for water, sewer, and electric.
How does council feel about that?
Yeah,
6,
Remind me, Jordan, of other cities and what their franchise fee or PILTS percentages.
I couldn't tell you, I'd have to do some more research, I think they're all over the place. And I think there's some cities where they're not even like we are, where electric pays more, sewer pays more.
And what would be the negative of going to 7% to these companies? Just,
I mean, for like the electric department, that's $55,000, I have to find somewhere in that budget to pull it from.
so how do you feel about the 6%?
And,
I mean, same thing, obviously, 2,500 and 4,400 and 27,500 is a lot easier than 55,000, so. I'd have to sit down with each department head and look at it.
How does council feel about the 6%? Thumbs up, thumbs down?
I just want to bring up real quick though that I think we actually have in the budget to do a cost of service analysis for water and sewer departments. We just did a COSA for electric and we did rate increases in that department. But we need to do the same for sewer and water.
Correct.
Okay. So is it consensus for 6? Thumbs up? Councilor Miller?
6% is fine with me.
All right, 6%. FEMA grant consensus.
So I actually gave a bit of an update in my weekly email to all of you last week. So we are on the brink of being awarded the money from FEMA to fix the roof and put in a generator for this building. The holdup is the county's natural hazard mitigation plan is lapsed. They are hopeful to have it updated by April. We can accept the awards from FEMA and submit a letter of exception explaining our issue. The risk with that is if the county's plan, which we are usually a part of, we can do our separate one, but typically we are part of the county's. If it's not completed and approved by FEMA within 12 months of the award, we have to give the money back. So I reached out to Oregon Emergency Management, who is our sub-applicant to the feds, and they, even though this has taken 2 years to complete, they're now telling us we can sit and wait and not actually accept the award until we're ready to, and kind of reapproach it in November, when the county should have a better idea of when the plan will be done.
They'll just keep it in the holding,
They'll hold it on the shelf.
they'll hold it on the shelf.
It's
Okay.
very odd to me, but that's what they said.
Is that in writing?
It's in an email.
Okay,
can we get that in?
It's in an email via the state's representative, so I have yet to actually directly talk from somebody from FEMA about this grant. But I think that's the way it works. Everything runs through the state. So we can accept it now, and
not
see
spending.
where it goes. I mean, well, the other part of that is the ODO grant. We did have a deadline to start construction by August
Right,
4th. That got extended to February 8th of 2025. So we have some time, and that's why we're looking at November of re-engaging the county to see where they're at and re-engaging FEMA. That way we can get the money awarded in time, finalize the plan, and get construction started by February 25.
does that give enough time if we wait till November?
It should,
It should.
To start construction in February?
Yes. A
and
lot of the plans are done already. It's just the final engineering.
I'd like to reiterate, so the reason to wait is because once we take it, we have an amount of time we need to be complete. Is that what you're saying?
No, we have there's a 12-month deadline that the county has to approve their natural hazard mitigation plan. FEMA will not typically give out any grants if that plan is not active. Or updated.
And we don't think that'll be updated until,
The county says their timeline is April. So we could accept the money now, and we'd have until June of 25, or they would have June of 25 to do their plan before we'd have to give the money back, and they're thinking April of 25. So about a 3-month window.
But if we wait until November, then we have a little bit more of a cushion.
Yes, about an 7-8 month window, somewhere in there, wherever the math is.
and when we accept this award, do we get the cash or not till the work is done?
I'm not sure, I'd have to look, I think it's reimbursement based, because most federal grants are. But I'll have to look.
So it's not earning interest anywhere.
That's where my.
No.
Okay, I'm like, can we hold it?
Yeah, no, it's, no, I believe it's
Okay.
reimbursement.
Okay,
And if you have it in writing that they'll re-offer it or
keep it on the shelf.
for till November, then makes sense to me.
How's council feel about that?
So, the clarifying, so the generator. As part of this. Would that we be able to use this as a warming shelter?
Yes, we could. Probably as a warming shelter. Depends on how long, I'm assuming you're talking if power's out.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that part of that was the generator to produce electricity. I assume this gets heat through electricity.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, there's, I guess that'd be the first step. The second step is for it to be a true emergency shelter, it has to have shower and kitchen facilities and a lot of other stuff.
Okay, so that.
But it would still be able to be kind of a short-term warming shelter. It also keeps City Hall operational, where I could run my stuff in the office, coordinate with John, coordinate with Sheldon and Derek downstairs. So it's mainly City Hall operation continuity, second part being warming shelter, cooling shelter operations.
So Councilman Keller, are you thinking that we could get a generator before winter? Or no, because we can't get anything without the county
No,
Well, without the money from,
plan being updated?
yeah, without the money from the federal government, yeah, we can't do it. Because the ODO grant is just the solar panels and the batteries, and the condition of our roof right now will not hold any.
I'm worried about construction in February. February is generally pretty cold and.
They're big, strong guys that you put.
Not if there's ice.
is there any hazard in doing, in accepting in October versus November? Or something more like that, so it's more of a.
No,
There's a
not-
little bit more leeway into the, like, with the getting. The like final steps ready before like we're gonna drop, it's like, it's gonna drop dead on February.
February, yeah, we have to start construction.
So if we started construction before then. Because we were a little bit ready.
Yep.
Earlier, then that would be ODO part.
Right. Yeah, I just was not gonna put that risk on the city without council's approval. And it's not really an action item, kind of a consensus to move forward.
Councilmember Happy, do you want to recap? I knew you may have been listening, but.
Yeah, it's a little hard, it's really echoey, so it is difficult to get.
Right.
We don't need to hold up on this, we're not looking for a vote, it's just a
Just
consensus.
consensus.
Yeah, so.
You want to roughly recap? Like, take a minute?
Yes, so we're on the brink of being awarded the FEMA grant to replace the roof. The county's natural hazard mitigation plan has lapsed. FEMA will not give the money without that plan being updated unless we write an exception letter saying we can guarantee it will be updated within 12 months of receiving the money, or we have to give the money back. But within that 12 months, we will be well into construction and already spent. So there is a slight risk of the city owing FEMA back $380,000.
If we accept the grant.
If we accept it now, while the county has not updated their MHNP, natural has, whatever, it's natural hazard mitigation plan.
And it sounds like what you're proposing is wait till November, that would we have 12 months from November, and they have to update it by April 2025. So it gives them a little bit of wiggle room.
Yeah, that's their internal timelines, they think will be done by April. And FEMA has said they will put the grant award on the shelf and we can grab it whenever we're ready. Which is very odd to me, I've never heard that, so.
And it's in writing,
It's in an email.
in an email.
My concern lies in getting a project started by February 8th.
We pick it up in September, I feel better about that, because then we
Whenever-
can start. By October, and it's still not like. Or like by late October, and sometimes it's not even that bad in October here. And then the construction we need to be started. Which gives us our. Leeway on the photo, and then April to October is still quite a bit of time, so. So that even in Three Rivers County is. Plan does not happen in April, hopefully it happens before October or September.
Yeah, we can, whenever council is comfortable doing this, like I said, I was not gonna put that risk on the city without council. Consensus.
Not a fan, but that's a good risk.
Yeah.
Probably.
I mean, talking to FEMA, I mean, talking to the state, talking to the county, they've also hired U of O to help them put the plan. Everybody seems pretty confident it will be done by April or earlier, but again, I'm not gonna make that decision without council's approval.
So if we start, sorry, go ahead.
No.
If we submit paperwork on November 1st, how long will it take to get permits and?
That is a good question, Joe.
That's where I'm like,
Yeah.
if we don't get permits until January 1, we get a nasty winter like we've had, and then we can't.
Can't start.
Yeah.
Well, we could revisit it in September. Not wait till November and see
Yeah.
where we're at.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would be, we can
Seems like a crazy time here to be working on our roof.
well, we asked for an extension and that's what Mojo gave us, was February. We asked for longer, but
And I, to Mr. Collins' point, like, what do we have to do to begin construction? I mean, pound a nail, like, we got started, I mean, like, you know, what can we do to, like, you know, get things started, and then maybe we, are able to, not like I'm saying drag our feet, but like, put it in a time frame that's more reasonable to be re-roofing our building, not in the middle of winter.
How much time do we have to complete it?
I think 2 years, but I don't remember. I'd have to double check it. Oh, yeah.
And then early part of February is when we get some nasty weather.
And is there some guide that we have to withdraw certain amounts of money each time we, let's say we do accept it in November or October, and we're like, no, in Cascade Locks, you really don't want to re-roof until, you know, later, April, May. So we have 2 years to do it. So even though we accepted, it's not putting us at risk except for that Clackamas County plan or the Commission for County,
Correct.
right?
The other, I mean, back to the other wrinkle and the bigger question is the future of this building. We did get the brownfield funding from McCad. They actually came in this morning and did an analysis of the building, and we should get a report here in the next couple of weeks on the materials of the building and kind of their assessment.
And Jordan, if we spend these FEMA grants, these funding, is there a caveat that it has to remain a city hall?
No, the, has to be, the solar panel and the generator have to be operational for their intent for 5 years. So it can stay in this building and this not be city hall.
But those things need to be operational for 5 years.
Correct.
And it could be privately owned.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it's important to fix it up just because maintaining our property is important, but.
Roofs are kind of important to a building. You gotta have a good roof. Councilmember Crompton?
I think that, revisiting this or accepting the various grants in, September is, I think, our best. If they're actually gonna hold it for us, I feel like that's the best plan. Because we don't wanna accept any money before it's,
Before we know we can spend.
before we know we can spend it. And start spending money we don't, like if we don't have it, then we don't wanna do that, and then that gives us time to review the brownfield things, if the building is doomed to be torn down anyway, or not torn down, but like it's. Cause it's a historic building, so it's probably can't be torn down just outright, but. If it's not worth putting the money into, then we don't have to accept any of them.
Correct.
And that would also give us. By September, that should be well figured out, and you have any, and then you can always bring it on the agenda if we have any inklings that they're not gonna. Extend it further, like hold it, then we can make our decision then. Does that sound good to everybody?
Yeah, you're right,
Push
as
it.
far
Push
as,
it to the end of September.
Beginning of September.
in case some construction is recommended that would generally be done before a roof. I was thinking like, oh yeah, what if they say we've got some wall things, don't,
We need to do some internal truss work that starts the construction, and
Yeah,
then we don't have to.
right,
But then it's still sort of nice out and it's started, and if we said we have to finish the whole project in 2 years. Then that should give us like the whole summer, basically 2 whole summers to. Get the work done if we end up doing it.
I'll confirm what start construction is defined as well as the completion deadlines and anticipated permit processes.
Councilman, you're happy?
Do we know how long the project is supposed to take? Do we have contractors lined
I do
out?
not know that.
We have contractors.
Until the money's finalized, we won't put anything out to bid.
We have to do an RFP.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Maybe, so roof, solar panel, generator, you know, 3 different parts of that project.
Yeah, it'll be repair the roof, battery and solar panels on the roof, and then generator in the back parking lot.
How's everyone feel? Beginning of September, revisit? If we have new updated,
how do y'all feel, City Administrator Bennett, have you responded to the email that said they'll hold it? Then so you're gonna say, yes, please hold it, or,
I told him I'd talk to council about it.
okay, great, and just confirming it'll still be there.
Yeah,
Right.
I will double check.
CC the attorney.
Yeah,
I get so worried they're gonna take.
I mean, if they take it away, then the worst is that we don't have the money and then we haven't started anything.
as long as we know,
We don't get this.
spend money we don't have.
No,
Yeah.
but. The worst thing is that all this work in labor has been for nothing, but at the same time, it's better than
Mhm.
Paying it back, yeah.
paying it back.
yeah, exactly.
Okay. City Administrator Bennett report.
All right, couple bigger updates, wastewater plant. Continuing to work with Anderson Perry and JW Fowler to correct any issues. With the upgrades to the plant. I have chatted with them at the end of last week and beginning of this week. We have a plan to move forward. To address everything, and all parties involved are comfortable closing out the project, signing the final notice of acceptable work. And completing it, so that is moving forward. Our main operator assigned to our plant from Jacobs has left, and we will be assigned a new one. The transition occurred last week, 6/3. Sheldon's already had several conversations with him, so it seems to be a smooth transition so far. June 10th today, I met with Nate Stice from the governor's office as well as other regional cities to discuss the best way to move forward with operating plants. It really is a mixed bag of how these plants, different sizes, different styles, how they're operated. Cascade and Stevenson were on the far west end, and people from the city of Wasco, Sherman County were also on the call, so it was the entire gorge talking about this issue. And some of them have internal staff, some of them are contracted out like us, some of them, like White Salmon, who is twice the size of Bingen, sends all of their stuff to Bingen's treatment plant, oddly enough. So yeah, it's kind of all over the
I
place.
didn't know that.
Yeah, and so nothing really pertinent came out of it. It was a really good starter conversation, some stuff about, programs through the state, how to train employees. A lot of people trying to pluck them straight out of high school and get them trained, because you have to have X amount of hours in the industry before you can be certified. So looking at all those options. For the most part, from what I can tell, most cities would be interested in some kind of partnership where 2 or 3 hire one treatment plant operator, and that person operates all 3 of them, something like that, but nothing pertinent came out of it. So there's the discussion continues. McCord Creek Bridge, BKI, our electrical engineers, are preparing bid documents for the McCord Creek Bridge relocation project. Once bids are in, city staff and BKI will review and make recommendations to council. We will present all bids along with our recommendation for council to review and select. A definitive timeline is not set yet. As of right now, we are on track to complete the work before ODOT's deadline of October 31st. Overlook Park restrooms. Vandalism continues to be an issue at the Overlook Park restrooms. Right now, the shower is inoperable. Someone attempted to break into the coin collection area to steal the money. Myself and staff are reviewing how to best move forward. In a good year, we make $50 off the shower, while we have spent thousands on repairs and replacement. We are exploring all options, including removal of the showers. However, no decision has been made. LOC small cities meeting will be held here. Region 8, Cascade Locks on June 20th. I have not heard anything about what the topics will be, and I have not heard a list of a head count yet, but that will happen next Thursday. And then the OCCMA, the Oregon City Council Managers Association Conference, will be held in Hood River, June 24th to 27th. A good portion of my week will be spent in Hood River. I will be in Cascade Locks for the June 24th council meeting. Janice Crane will be leading a tour of Cascade Locks on June 25th at 3 p.m., followed by a dinner on the Stern. That's all I got.
Can I, City Administrator Bennett, aren't the Overlook Park restrooms, part of a tourism related facility? Didn't they get a grant to do the restrooms and the?
Correct, yes.
Right.
Yep.
So are you talking to Janice about some of this?
I need to do more research and see what all the options are.
Okay, and you
I
know
just wanted to give everybody a heads up.
that the campground has paid showers there as well, so that's an option. They can,
Yeah.
they pay online.
And I, from my understanding, I need to double check with Jeremiah that the port is putting up bathrooms and showers up at the new trail that they created. Which to me makes our shower kind of redundant or obsolete.
Mhm.
If they can just take 2 steps off the trail and shower instead of coming all the way into town.
Yeah, I suppose if you talk, I don't know what kind of stipulations would have been put on that money. You know, sometimes.
Yeah, that needs to be done, yeah.
All right, Councilmember Miller?
Oh, okay. Since we're talking about Overlook Park, I think we need to. The board has honored. Captain Tom with a special day. And I would make a recommendation that we look at. Naming the Overlook Park Captain Tom Campbell. Overlook Park. as a way to honor him for everything he's done for this city. Also, there was an incident. I guess it started at TIV. Where a person who was high on mushrooms went in there and started to fight with evidently people parking in front of his house or whatever. And then a lady and her kids went up to get the car that was in front of his house. And needless to say, the sheriff's department had to come and they arrested the guy. The guy told them who sold him the mushrooms. And the police department got the same person identified twice. Why the police have not arrested this person and is beyond me, because to me, that's enough cause for a search. And also, they opened up an artisan studio retail outlet at TIV in the old real estate office. And I'm kind of wondering why a conditional use permit is not required there, because they've changed the scope of what the building is. Going from a real estate office, which you think is more like an administrative office, to being a retail outlet, and a retail outlet with no parking. Because they have taken the parking away from that building by putting their beer garden there. So I'd like to get an answer on why a conditional use permit is not required of them. That's, well, yeah, I had some discussion with some other people. Because we have looking for ways for children and people who ask, we should have a parade in town and things like that, and this would be more directed towards PTO. That the suggestion of a Halloween parade for kids and decorating the street pole lights and stuff with scarecrows, witches, whatever you want, and maybe the PTO could take over that and use it as a fundraiser to put a nominal fee on these poles to where the money will go to PTO and then they can award prizes. So that was an idea that I was talking to some other people about, and that's it.
Thank you. Councilmember Baker?
Thank you to staff for giving us this giant packet. To the budget committee as well. I thank you for all your hard work and looking at detail. Really appreciated the discussions we had and the things that I learn every year. So thank you, the folks that are here and not here. And that, as well as the Charter Review Committee. And thanks to that committee for having an open house. And hearing comments from citizens and answering questions, that was a lot of work as well. So I certainly appreciate all the committees. And I want to just in my outfit today, recognize that it is National LGBTQ+ month. So we affirm our LGBTQ+ community that is in our town and welcome people of all diversity. I don't think we mentioned that last month was National Asian Pacific Islander Month, and if folks don't know, we have many businesses owned by American Asian folks in our town. So getting to know the diversity, and I'm glad to see some more diversity of folks joining the downtown committee as well. So we want to be welcoming to all. So I just wanted to say that it's happy graduation time, so maybe next year we'll honor all of our Cascade Lots graduates, and yay for our school system and for helping graduate young folks that are doing great things. And I just excited about the events that are coming up. Cascade Locks has a lot of things that are good for the community or fun for the community, as well as tourism, the live music that happens in the summer, and the Festival of Nations coming up, and I know the Main Street Nonprofit Committee is having an event at Gorgeous on the 25th. Everybody's welcome, because everybody is, their voices are important and about downtown. And we're learning how all these organizations partner together. I met with McKed, the executive director of McKed, as a board member, taking over Butch's position, because he had to step down for health reasons, and I'll be going to a McKed board meeting on the 20th, and they are excited. McKed is almost our economic development department, because we don't have one in the city. So they can help businesses when they want to open, do planning, they can help them find loans. They've given lots of loans to businesses at Cascade Locks. So I just want people to know that McKed while it's along the gorge and both sides of the river, I felt that Jessica was very welcoming and saying, I'll come to town if you want and help folks. So I just want to say that McKed is an economic development department to help all of us. And it'll be nice to see the Port Tourism Committee, us, McKed, Main Street, everybody moving forward. And I think that's all.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Keller?
I'm gonna piggyback Miss Emily Baker on the budget committee. That was an arduous task. And it took a lot of us and a lot of hours and a lot of thought and a lot of discussion. So it was impressive. But I highly encourage anyone to apply for the vacant city council position. I can see from discussing from tonight, work happens, and if you don't agree with it, then come out and apply, because we need a wide variety of work. Echoing graduation, I believe 16 graduates from the city of Cascade Locks earned their diploma on Friday night, June 7th. They're going all over the place. Most are within Oregon, and one's going to Ohio. So that's pretty cool. And then we have 373 days to get a resolution passed to recognize the freed slaves and make Juneteenth a city holiday, since it is a federally recognized holiday.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Compton?
I want to thank the staff for reducing this extensive packet for us. I did read it. I want to thank everybody who comes to these meetings to listen and to have their voices heard. I want to piggyback on Councilman Keller's sentiment that if you're interested in being on city council, apply. It's a good way to get involved, and with a term limit that is rapidly coming up, if you don't like it, then you don't have to run for election. But it'll give you at least a little taste before that time comes.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Happy?
First, thank you, everybody, for repeating things and recapping and helping me be an active participant. I do think that our OWL system is definitely a big step forward from where it was before, but for people that can't attend because of maybe there was limitations, it is incredibly echoey in here. And for someone, I'm hard of hearing, and it is really difficult to follow along. So I appreciate everybody's efforts to help include me. But I think that it's something that we need to look at, we've got some money in the budget for IT infrastructure improvements, and I hope that we can maybe make our meetings more accessible to people that aren't able to come participate in person and actually be active participants and hear what's happening. Because it's really difficult to follow along. Appreciate Chief Logan for coming after work and being here for the workshop, discussing the EMS and his homework going into that as well. Again, appreciate Ms. Crane for being here this evening for and then the budget committee, that was a challenging process. A lot of creative solutions were proposed and good discussion. And result of that was what we talked about tonight with increasing the internal payments from 6%. It's a good example of a way that we were able to find some creative solutions to fund between policing and the city. And that's all I've got.
All right, thank you. And thank you for coming in and coming in and out. Really appreciate that. Want to thank staff, everything, the amazing ethics and everything that you do and keep us all informed. Also, congratulations to I didn't know it was 16. I thought it was like 12 students who are graduating this year. So that's pretty cool.
Between the two, ROA and the.
Okay. All right, well, that's pretty amazing. So congratulations to all of them. Remind everybody about this Saturday Festival of Nations. They have asked for any public elected official, if you can come and be present. You don't have to speak if you don't want to, but you can stand and be present, say thank you. I think that would mean a lot to them. I've asked in an email, like, what time and where do you want me to be? So we're trying to figure that out, but as soon as I know, I'll make sure everyone's notified of that. Big thank you to the budget committee. Holy cow, that was a process, but a lot of good things came out of it. I appreciate everyone being creative and it wasn't fun, but we got through it. So I really appreciate that. I encourage anybody who wants to apply for city council, please do so. It's a great opportunity. It's 6 months, basically, give or take. And, but I do think it's important to have a full council. Thank you to Chief Logan for coming and speaking and appreciate all his work and his graft work, or that was your graft work or Excel spreadsheet stuff. But really appreciate that. That took a lot of time to do that. And then also thank you to Janice. Kate, she's doing a great job and you listen to her presentation and it's like, she's a busy gal. So my hat's off to her. So, and I want to thank the council as well. I mean, we've gone through quite a bit and the discussions have all been good and healthy. So I appreciate that as well. And with that, I'm done. Oh,
I got one more thing.
Okay.
I bought a new house, I closed on it, got keys this morning, I'll be taking tomorrow and Wednesday off to move in.
yay, congratulations. That's big. I always say,
Yeah.
don't do the happy dance till the keys are in your hand.
Yeah, that's exactly what we did.
Okay, so I need a motion to adjourn.
I motion to adjourn.
For a second.
Discussion? No discussion, let's have a roll call vote.
Councilmember Compton,
Aye.
Evelyn Baker, Kathy,
Aye.
Keller,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Mayor Bell.
Aye. Passes. Thank you.